Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. It's Wellington, and bringing you guys my pool week video. Sorry I didn't get a haul video out this week. I got my books yesterday because just circumstance had it where I couldn't get my books Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or Saturday because a buddy of mine was getting married and I didn't have the money at the time and things like that. But I got my books now. Got them yesterday. Didn't make a video because I didn't even have time to make the haul video yesterday because of work, and then I went to watch Godzilla and all that kind of stuff. And then I just read the books today, and I figured, hey, I'm just gonna do the review. And this review is pretty special, and I don't want to give things away. So actually, in the timestamps below, I'm not gonna put the titles of the books. I'm just gonna put review 1, 2, 3, whatever. I'm reviewing 5 books this week, and all of them were just excellent books. Everything was just top-notch writing. The books that are meant to be fun were a lot of fun. Serious books were really serious and, action-filled and just had a lot of purpose to them. And a lot of surprises for this video. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into the reviews with the first book, Original Sin, issue number 2. Now this book has become a book where I'm like all in. I'm gonna keep picking it up because Jason Aaron is proving that that this is going to be a good story. At any time it could falter, but it doesn't seem to be going that way because just the events of this book are definitely something to be excited about. So we kind of follow 3 different teams. We follow Black Panther and Emma Frost. Emma Frost. We follow them as they're in a team together, and this kind of secondary team assembled by this mysterious figure that hasn't been revealed yet. Emma Frost, Black Panther, and Ant-Man. Can't forget him. And another team assembled by the Mystery Man and Doc Strange and the Punisher. We followed them. And then we followed the Avengers, the main thing that is separate from this kind of underground team. We follow the Avengers as they're kind of chasing down another mindless one who's been given consciousness and kind of is going on a rampage, and just all this kind of stuff. And they're discovering things about the Watcher's murderer or murderers, or they're discovering things. They're following leads. Everybody's following a lead, but different leads. And by the end of this, we do find out, and this is not even a spoiler, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but we do find out who was the cause for the Watcher's death. And and I'm happy about it because it shows that the story is not about discovering who did it and why they did it. It's going to be more, and I'm not sure what it is going to be about. I'm not going to sure how all of this is going to wrap up by the end of it, because it's only issue 2 and we know who is responsible. So there's a lot of things to cover still. Again, there's 6 more issues of this, along with a bunch of tie-ins, and so I'm actually really excited, and I can recommend Original Sin very much now. Next book is a fun one, and this is Deadpool Annual, issue number 2. One of the best covers of the week, really. This is pretty much a Spider-Man Deadpool team up. This starts out with Spider-Man and Deadpool kind of being together, and Spider-Man really being out of his mind, like can't even really decipher his dialogue because we kind of jump right into the story. And he's really paranoid, Spider-Man is, and he's he asked Deadpool to prove that Deadpool is Deadpool to him, and Deadpool shoots himself in the heart a couple of times, and doesn't die, therefore proving that he is in fact Deadpool. And then we find out what the story is about, and it's about that Spider-Man is being followed by the Chameleon, and he's being stalked, where the Chameleon will turn into somebody and kind of either just whisper into Spider-Man's ear and disappear, or he'll stab Spider-Man with like a knife or like some kind of serum or something, and he'll stab him and then disappear. And this has been it's been happening, and it's freaking him out. It's freaking Spider-Man out. It's got him really paranoid. He's attacking innocent people who he thinks is Chameleon. He's attacking he's letting innocent people go who he thinks are just innocent people that turn out to be the Chameleon, who then stab him. And it's just this big thing where he's being watched and stalked, and he knows it, but he doesn't know how to stop it. And Deadpool is the only person that he can actually rely on. And one thing goes to another. Spider-Man is kind of incapacitated, to where Deadpool then takes Spider-Man's costume, as we see here, and acts as Spider-Man to kind of help his, as he calls him, his amazing friend. And then the fun ensues. We see Deadpool kind of performing Spider-Man's actions and feeling what Chameleon feels, or is feeling what Spider-Man feels, because Chameleon kind of interacts with Deadpool thinking that he's Spider-Man. And it's just a lot of fun. Good story, kind of what you would see from a Deadpool story. So it's not something hugely riveting, but it's a really fun one. Just a really kind of cutesy annual for Deadpool. And definitely, anytime Deadpool and Spider-Man link up in a book, it's always a fun book. So Deadpool Annual number 2, really fun one. I recommend it. And yeah, the next book, still talking about Spider-Man, we got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. I just noticed that I have 3 number 2 issues this week out of 5 books. That's funny. But anyways, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. This is a really cool one. The start of this is going into kind of that area where Dan Slott introduced that another person was bit by a radioactive spider, a girl. I'm kind of iffy on how I feel about that, kind of messing with this origin deal, but we'll see how it goes. It's only teased at like a page or 2 at the start. It could be interesting, or it could be annoying. But for the main story in here, kind of Peter Parker, at this point, Anna Maria knows that Peter is Spider-Man. So because she knows that, Peter feels free to let her in on the mind swap deal, that she actually fell in love with Doc Ock. And her reaction to it is still kind of iffy. We don't know how she feels about it, because she's kind of taking it a little too well, it almost seems. But you can see like it's kind of hit her pretty hard, and she acts a lot differently towards Peter, knowing that she doesn't actually know who this Peter is. But we're gonna be seeing a lot more of her, because they come to an agreement here that they'll be staying with each other so she can get back on her feet and things like that. So we'll be getting more of her. And the stuff with Electro in this book, Electro kind of meets up with... Electro's powers are running like haywire right now because of Doc Ock Spidey, but in Electro's mind, just Spider-Man going crazy. doing all these experiments on him. And Electro wants revenge, and we get a big Electro Spider-Man kind of chase fight deal. That's a lot of fun. And the book as a whole, really nice. Kind of classic Spider-Man storytelling. A lot of fun to see that happen again. And I'm enjoying having Spider-Man Peter Parker back. So there's that on Amazing Spider-Man number 2. Now here's the kicker. There are 2 books left. The kind of runner-up to pick of the week, and then the pick of the week. Now here's the runner-up. Daredevil issue number 3. Daredevil has been my pick of the week for, you know what, I could almost say close to a year, if not a year, if not over a year. That's how anytime Daredevil has come out, or a Daredevil book has come out, it has been my pick of the week. And this week it just didn't happen, and it's a great story on the inside, just the book beat it out. But this book kind of goes, we continue with at the end of last issue, kind of the Shroud, this kind of B-list hero, anti-hero kind of person that we figure out is kind of harboring criminals and, you know, kidnapping them, really. And he gets in a scuffle with Daredevil, and kind of we follow that story because they both have a mutual enemy in the Owl. You know, the Owl is now in San Francisco. And to make a long review short of this, they kind of team up, and by the end of this, you know, they find themselves at a big crossroads and a big misunderstanding at a terrible time. And that's kind of, you know, how the book ends off. That's one story in here, and then we have another kind of like little smaller story where we find out some more about Foggy Nelson and his status after being proclaimed dead, and kind of like the aftermath of all that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of fun to see too. Don't want to go too much into it because there's a lot of detail that will kind of bog down a review of this. But Daredevil issue number 3, you know, I've got 3 issue number 2s and then an issue number 3. But this was very, very nice, very good book. Very close to being my cover of the week. Deadpool Annual had an amazing cover. So actually, this might be better than the Deadpool cover now that I think about it. But anyways, great book, Daredevil issue number 3. But my pick of the week, and actually kind of a shocker, I don't know if this has been pick of the week before or maybe just once before. And this was Nova issue number 17. This book, it hits, it's pick of the week for me because it does my favorite thing in comics. It tells a very grounded story, down to earth kind of family story, and those are kind of my favorite family, down to earth stories, and ground level detective stories like that are my favorite kind of books, or they're my favorite kind of stories. And this is what this does. Last issue, right? Yeah, I think it was last issue. Sam comes back from his kind of adventure in space with Beta Ray Bill and things like that, and thinks everything is going to be fine. And then he finds an eviction notice on his front door of his house, and things get a lot more human in this story. And then so at the beginning of this story, a lot more lighthearted, Sam brings this huge gold-plated rock from space that turns out to be radioactive, and he does it to kind of give his mom an option to pay for the house so they don't have to move out. His mom tells him to put it back in space. His mom doesn't know that he knows about the eviction notice. And this whole issue kind of shows his mom struggling but doing the best she can to keep the house and kind of survive since Sam's dad isn't around anymore. And at a point in this book, they get in a big fight, Sam and his mom, and his mom actually tells Sam to, get out of the house and go do some Nova stuff and things like that because she doesn't want to be around him, and just this big family ordeal. And by the end of this, they come out with a big kind of how do I want to call it, like a positive attitude toward their situation. And they allude to the Watcher and how Sam is going to ask the Watcher where his dad is, and then they kind of show the Watcher in his situation that he's in. And we know that the Watcher is dead right now. So really just great book, fine book. Not much more I can say about Nova issue number 17. The art in it is great as well. Dialogue between characters, just really just a great book. And happy that it came out this week to kind of wrap up a really strong week in comics. And speaking of wrapping up, I'm going to wrap up this video and say goodbye to y'all. So I'm Wellington, signing off with the Comic Book Lowdown. I'll see you guys next time.